Well, welcome to the 12th Sunday in Ordinary Time. The readings are really beautiful today. We have Job. Now you got to remember that Job has a real argument with God. All of Job's family, farm, house, everything, fortune has been taken from him. And the devil has told God, if he only thanks you because everything is good for him. If you took that stuff away, he'd curse you. And God says, okay, tempt him. So he takes everything away. But Job stays faithful. But he has an argument with God. How come? How come this happens to me? I didn't do anything wrong. And of course his friends say, you must have done something wrong. What did you do? And he said, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't break the law. Because if you break the law, then God punishes you, of course, in the story of Job. But the story is about waves. And God is arguing, where were you when I did this? You think you know everything? Where were you when I made the sea? When I let the waters pour out? When I opened the door or when I shut it? There's a beautiful image at the end of the first reading I really would like you to see. I don't know if you've ever been on the actual shore of an ocean. And way out, you can hear the crashing of big waves. It's loud. And as the waves get close to the shore, they diminish in intensity. And as it says in the reading in Job, the proud waves are humbled as they look against the shore. That's my image. And I have stood there and I said, you proud water, you come and genuflect at your limitations, that you only can go so far. It's beautiful how God has said, you, Job, you didn't know. You're not so smart. I did this and I didn't consult you. So that's the text, if you will. And the gospel is really beautiful. The early church is fragile. And the image of the boat as church is ancient. And so Jesus said, let's go from here over there. Let's go to the other side. So they take him into the boat and other boats go with him. You know the story. And then Jesus falls asleep. It seems that Jesus is far away from them. And the waves come and the wind comes and the boat is filling and they wake Jesus up, which in some way is a form of prayer. They wake Jesus up. They call Jesus' attention to their condition. And Jesus first calms the storm. Quiet. Be still. And then he says, are you still without faith? Where is your faith? And they say, it just went overboard with the water coming in and going out. Our faith almost left. Our trust in you we were failing it as we were bailing. So it's a beautiful picture of the early church and of our present time. There are many things that can terrify us when things don't go our way. Why is God letting this happen? What did I do wrong, like Job? I didn't do anything wrong. It happened. And we're just coming to the end of a terrifying time of the pandemic. And we prayed, and people died. Aren't our prayers efficient? That's a big question for us. Why pray? Now they woke Jesus up. He was on a cushion. He was at a comfortable position. But the image is that they're going to the other side. Let's go to the other side. What's that other side? It's faith. What happened to your faith? It often goes out the other side of the fragility of our boat, or the fragility of our faith. It slips away. When things are good, balloons and sunshine and parties, it's easy to be grateful. As it was for Job when his family and his fields were abundant and the cattle were hefty. Easy to praise God when things go well. Easy to praise God when we get our way. Faith is not certainty, you see. Faith doesn't get tested, I wouldn't say. I don't think God tests us. But what do we do when the not understandable happens, when our ways don't happen? Where does our faith go? It's really easy. It's a great easy option to say, I'm not going to believe anymore. I think it takes as much faith to believe that God doesn't love us as it takes to believe that God does. The apostles have been with Jesus a while, and yet not long enough. They're fragile, and so are we. Individually and as a church, we have more and more are experiencing our fragility, and we say, I don't want any experiences in my life or our life of fragility, of infidelity, of humanity. So I'm leaving. I don't want to be associated with a loser or something that is questionable. And the church and our parishes and our lives are fragile. And we look for something outside ourselves for stability and strength. And we can turn to Jesus. Okay, you are going to make me a winner. You are going to make me strong. I won't have to experience fragility. It seems that the closer we get in our experience of God, the closer we get to the experience of our humanity. They were very close to Jesus. And so they were very close to the fragility of their condition and of their faith and their trust in Him. As a last resort, they turned to Jesus. Strictly as a last resort. We do too. The question is God faithful in the times of struggle and upset and pain? It's hard to believe that. It's hard for Job to believe. And yet God says, you don't know my ways. But as to the gospel, when the apostles say, who is this? That even the sea and the wind obey him. It's a time in Mark's gospel and in the other synoptics, Luke and Matthew, where he is Lord of everything. Lord of the earth, the wind, all the forces that human beings cannot control. He is the Lord of all. The kingdom is not just within us, the kingdom is around us. Now, is God in control? Does God make things happen? Well, that's a big question. I think I make things happen, and God says, okay, you did that. You got into the boat, and there are storms. I didn't make the storms happen. I made myself available to you. Does God make things happen? No, I don't think so. Many people think so. Well, it's a struggle. And maybe that's an area of faith too, When the waves of doubt sweep over our little boats, of the fragility of our one-person kayak, or of our big ocean liner of community and church, we're fragile. And we don't like that. We want to be associated with strength. And God in the story with Job, and Jesus in the story with the apostles in the boat, he is saying, I am strong, and I will be with you. We are going to the other side, where faith will get you. We're going to another side of your understanding of my care for you, my love for you. But you have to go through the storms of what it is to be human. See, many times we'd like to be angelic, angels, and not experience my fragility, your fragility, our fragility. It's His love that allows us to stay in the boat and wait till we get to the other side of the increase of faith in Him. And does He love us even when we don't feel like we're being loved? We have to pray with our storms. In this boat scene, the storm went away. We prayed a lot that the storm of the pandemic would go away. It took a long time for the waves of fear and sickness to die down. We're still waiting for Jesus to say, quiet, be still, but you're always going to be human in your little boat.